Hey, how's it going, YouTubers? Thanks for visiting my channel and checking out my first video entitled How Satan Destroys Families. And start off with a big biblical example dealing with King David in 2 Samuel and his adultery that he committed with Bathsheba, and exactly what happened in the aftermath of that. It basically destroyed his family. So, and you can read about that. I'm not going to get into that too long, and I want to make this video short, to the point. There's three basic methods. There's perhaps more, but there's three basic tactics that Satan uses to destroy families, and those are adultery, uh, addictions, and attitudes. First one, adultery. Uh, Really, adultery starts off pretty much. It could either start off full blown, or it starts off with something minor, like, I don't know, indulging in pornography, flirting, or just, a wandering eye. But whatever the case may be, adultery is one of the ways that Satan destroys families. And when committed, it's extremely, I found it to be, seeing other people deal with it, it leaves a stain on a marriage, and it's very, very difficult to get over in some cases. Now, I won't say it's impossible, but it's one of those things that it definitely leaves a mark. And so it's better just to not get involved in it at all. Just avoid it, okay? And not to have any type of flirting or any type of uh, something that resembles that kind of thing, I suppose. Uh, so if you're alone with another person that is unmarried and there's even a perception of it, just, or even a hint of it, just get out of that situation. Don't put yourself in a situation that could end up pretty bad, okay? Second one is addictions. Alcohol, drugs, that kind of thing can really lead you down a bad path. Now, I know that there's some Christians out there that drink, okay? I've seen a lot of Christians and I've met a lot of Christians that have no problem with having a beer or a glass of wine at the dinner table or something like that. I personally don't drink at all. For me, that is my conviction. It's kind of like playing with fire. If you play with fire, guess what? You're going to get burnt. If you play with knives, you're going to get cut. If you play with alcohol, you're going to get drunk. And the Bible is pretty clear when it talks about getting drunk. Okay, so don't play around with it. You might as well just get rid of it. Why mess with it? Same thing goes with drugs. Unless you're on a prescription drug that you need to have, then that's fine. But don't make it a habit. Don't let it become a habit, because ultimately it'll take you down. And then attitudes. Uh, it's very, very easy to come home after a long day of work. I'm speaking from experience, and just not want to do anything and just kind of veg out, and or be critical with the wife about something not getting done or whatever, or vice versa. She may be critical with me about me promising to do something and not getting to it. And then that leads to a fight or an argument or something heated, and then ultimately that could open up some other things. Eventually, this could get worse and worse and worse over time if not corrected. Got to be careful about the attitudes that we may carry, and bitterness that could lead to something worse, okay? So, adultery, addictions, attitudes. These are three main tactics that Satan uses to destroy families. And what does this lead to? Well, it leads to divorce. And divorce is the opposite of God's plan. God says he hates divorce in the book of Malachi. And sadly, the ones who uh, have the most to lose in this divorce, I believe, are the children. Well, I should say that they're the ones that suffer the most, probably because they have nothing to do with it, and yet they carry these scars, and they will carry these scars. I can't tell you how many I've met that have had to go through counselings because of issues they're dealing with, because dad was never there, dad left, or mommy was never there, mom left, and then single family, or single parent, being raised under a single parent, and the issues with that, or just having limited time with dad, or you get the point. So I'll tell you this, in my personal opinion, children suffer the most. And when you look at the statistics with career criminals, a lot of them actually have had issues with growing up in a broken home or a home where mom or dad was either physically not present or emotionally abusive or emotionally not present. God's plan is for the family to be like a citadel or a castle, where Satan just wants to destroy that castle so he can, ravage the family, the occupants inside that castle. But God's plan is for the family to be like that castle. Inside that castle, you have the mom, you have the dad, you have the children, and each person has a role. Okay? I believe that to be the case. I believe there's certain giftings that mom brings to the table, there's certain giftings that dad brings to the table, and that everyone has a purpose and a role in the family. And the family is so very important in this day and age. And we need to trust God and do things God's way. We need to stop leaning on what we think is right. We need to trust God. Let's do things God's way. His way is ultimately the best way. The biblical way is the best way. So if you're in sin, I pray that you soften your heart, repent. Do it now. Don't justify it. Honor the vow that you made before God and man when you promised that you would be with that person for life, forever. Honor that vow. If you're thinking about divorce, don't do it. Know and understand that the devil is like a roaring lion seeking about whom he may devour. He's real, okay? He is very real, and he is out there to destroy, to kill, and steal. It's that simple. 1 Peter 5:8 talks about that, and John 10:10 talks about that as well. Lastly, get with Christians, strong Christians who can give you counseling, who can pray with you, and give you what you need. Don't try to justify it. Don't try to be the Lone Ranger. Don't try to get away from them. And I'm talking to Christians right now, okay? Don't try to do things on your own. Get with Christians that'll tell you the things that you need to hear, not the things that you want to hear. And if you're not a Christian, I pray that you would also find Christians and learn what it means to be a follower of Jesus Christ. So this is my first YouTube video. Thank you for watching. I pray may God bless you and keep you.